And she was just wet.
Here's
And she
Dee.
went from the car.
Let's see what Dee on looks like.
But she didn't wait for it to slow down.
How I know?
414 West Dell.
Is it good yet? No. Okay. Well, my hair's wet.
I had to take a towel and dry it.
I just sat under the awning.
You're a scholar and a gentleman, no matter what he says, yeah.
No matter what Lynn says.
I'm wet. Okay, you're a wet gentleman in the scholar.
Yes, it started again.
They quit when it went out there? We start saying,
So she went across the street, they're not.
you did a hot rod. All right. Can you drive one? It was a joke. It was a joke. I know, that's what I was
I'm not that young.
Back in the day, we had to.
That's what my little Ford
Special had an
Ranger.
automatic.
Yeah, my Ford Ranger was a whatchamacallit.
That really they can do that. But.
My hair's
I got one. Oh, we can. No, I'm in Lovington. I'll just be getting the one that's in there.
West off of Dell. Just a little bit past 70. Past 17.
Like the 43rd.
The address was 25 something.
So when we.
So just outside of town.
Or one of the old,
So it was different, so we did do commercial.
Gillespie Wells
Or 8214, I'm sorry, so it is quite a ways out there.
8214, oh,
Quite a ways to go.
like Gillespie had them and then Diamondback had them.
It's on the south side of the highway.
Well, if I go to Copen, then you. Oh, we made it.
There's a couple of little
It was
independents
close.
on the south side of the road, so I don't know.
Not be here long.
That's when
Well, you
the
know what? We're happy you're here.
internet stuff or Diamondback or whoever.
I can imagine. With a minute to spare.
If I get called.
We totally understand. All right. Is everybody about ready?
Now you go sit up and just order two from Krause.
You know you're up tonight, right? Okay, I'm making sure you'd look.
That's what I was doing. You told me.
Scan looking for the pinch
Right.
hitter.
Well, I was gonna return the favor, so I wasn't in the right frame of mind.
I got the code in
That
there.
happens.
Okay. And the longest minute, that's today. All right, everybody ready? I call this regular session of the Lovington City Commission to order. Shannon, roll call, please.
Mayor Roberts,
Here.
Commissioner Trujillo.
Here.
Commissioner Gandy,
Here.
Commissioner Bowe,
Here.
Commissioner White.
Here,
Okay, if you'll join us in our invocation. Commissioner White, would you lead us?
will you pray with me? Father, we thank you for the cool down and the moisture. We also thank you for the gift of friendship and accountability. Without the people you give us in our daily lives, we would be greatly overwhelmed and hopeless. We ask for your patience and strength in our daily decisions and rest when we need it the most. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Amen. Join us in the pledge. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Salute the flag of the state of New Mexico, the Zia symbol of perfect friendship among united cultures.
You may be seated.
Crystal.
Are you changing?
No.
I'm sure.
No changes.
Okay, here we go.
She says, I don't have anything on there. I know.
All right, here we go. Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda as submitted.
We have a motion and a second for the approval of the agenda. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Shannon, please.
Commissioner Trujillo.
Yes.
Commissioner Bolt.
Yes.
Commissioner White.
Yes.
Mayor Roberts.
Yes.
Commissioner Gandy.
Yes. Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion for the considerations of minutes of July 28, 2025. Second.
Okay, a motion and a second for the adoption of the minutes. Any discussion, corrections, or additions? Hearing none, Shannon?
Commissioner Gandy.
Yes.
Commissioner White.
Yes.
Mayor Roberts.
Yes.
Commissioner Bolt.
Yes.
Commissioner Trujillo.
Yes.
All right. Brings us to our Commissioner and Staff retreat. Okay. Hey, I wish it was, but anyway. Report. Ms. Shannon, do you have anything this evening?
I just wanted to remind everyone of the declaration of candidacy that we need, if you're interested in running for the commission, is August the 26th from 9 to 5 at the courthouse, county clerk's office. It's a write-in declaration of candidacy is September the 2nd, 9 to 5.
All right, thank you. Anything further?
We'll see you later.
All right, well, thank you very much. Chief, we get right to you tonight.
Yes, sir. Mr. Mayor, Commissioner, City Manager, Lee County Sheriff's Department has provided 3 deputies, SROs, to the high school, Taylor, and Yarborough, and the other schools that's on Jefferson. This will help in many ways, approximately 50 to 100 calls a week that's generated through the schools. The fair and rodeo went off without any major issues, any road traffic issues. We signed a MOA with the Lee County Detention Center. They're going to be able to utilize our range for the first time. They're going to have armed transports. They're going to be taking their own people, depending on where they need to go for the hospital and stuff like that. They're going to do their own transports. Construction at the police department's underway. Approximately 9 days from now, it should be completed. It's very noisy and cloudy right now. We're doing a lot of stuff on the walls.
A lot of dust flying.
A lot of dust flying.
Well, today will help take care of that.
That's right.
Just
Bring
be
it
muddy.
inside, though. A couple weeks ago, we attended a off-highway vehicle training, OHV training. Then we also applied with a grant to enforce those off-road vehicles on our city streets, and we'll be doing that operation soon. I'll stand for any questions.
Okay, questions? Commissioner Bolt.
Yes, Chief, last week we went up to, we had the New Mexico Municipal League training. Commissioner White, myself, and a few others went up there. And learned a lot of good things. They had a lot of good information up there. They also brought up Lexipol.
Yeah.
The other commissioners weren't, like I said, we were a part of that. I don't know if the other commissioners or our city staff is aware of that. We understand it's something that we are in.
We are in.
And could you explain that briefly a little bit so people can hear about it and know about it?
Part of it I'm involved in, they have a lot of different facets of what they're doing, but I'm in the middle of redoing all the policies and procedures through Lexipol. Every week I'm having a meeting with this one individual, and we're going through the policies, approving them, and once we get them all done, then we'll give it Patrick. Also through Lexipol, there's another company called I mentioned at last commission meeting, the Cordell, which has to do with mental health and wellness. So all these are basically free to us through our insurance. So trying to take advantage of
And that's what they brought up, that they're free to us. It also offers a reduction as far as with our insurance. Just wanted to bring it up because it's a good thing as far as getting all the records. and everything on file, bringing things up to date. And I know that's an issue that we've talked about, and a lot of things that we can improve on, some of the things that we are improving on. So I just wanted to bring that up and let the other commissioners and staff know about
What's
it.
nice about the wellness one is every officer will have it on their phone. Because it's like a bad stigma if you go to a bad crime scene and it affected you in one way. To tell somebody about it, you really don't want to, be that guy. So you'll have an app on your phone that you'll be able to. We'll have some local resources that they'll be able to reach out as far as our ministry here, and then also there'll be some other ones outside. So since suicide is such high level, and
Right, as far as counseling and that, yes. Yeah, that's why I said I think that's very good, and I applaud you for doing it, and I hope there's other things that we can do to get out there that we're concerned about our employees and help out and the benefits that are involved. So
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to, again, put that out there, but thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Chief, when did the SROs start, and can you repeat the schools they'll be at?
They started the first day of school, and they will be at the high school, Taylor, and the one that's on Jefferson Street will be based out of Yarborough, but he'll be jumping to the 6th grade academy and Jefferson School.
Thanks, sir.
They're great.
Chief, could you go back over your off-highway vehicle use or whatever, kind of give us,
Sort of like-
give me a little bit more on it.
Yeah, the side-by-sides
Right.
that we don't like on the road.
Didn't we pass that? Because it seems like we've had an increase in traffic on that, in my opinion.
Game and Fish came in, and the city manager sat in on one of the trainings. It's basically just reminding us what our ordinances are, or our statutes, more than our ordinances. And it was about an hour-long training. And we also, the grant we applied for is a $10,000 grant. So it'll allow officers to work off-duty and do the special enforcements and get some of these guys that are running the street illegal.
Okay. Didn't know which way we were actually leaning. A little bit.
Yeah, we're not on the legal side.
Okay.
What are you looking at me?
I know you want to say something, you know I've been
I saw
riding it.
Lee County staff riding up and down them little poppies and a couple other ones, so hell, I don't know why we just don't pass it. Just focus
It's a
somewhere
bad
else.
idea,
Focus
in my
somewhere
opinion.
else.
I just have to disagree with you. Even though I'm guilty.
Any other questions for the chief? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. Fire chief.
Mr. Mayor, members of the commission, so all of our new hires have gone through the hiring process and are now on shift and working. The contractors have they've come and done a walkthrough through the fire department a few times, but no work has started yet on my side of the building. All of our basic and intermediate students will start class next week. And then all the cadets are conducting final merge today and possibly tomorrow in Eddy County, depending on how much they got done today. And then they'll take their written tests, and Academy 12 will be complete. So we're not sure of the graduation date yet, but when we get that, we'll let all y'all know. So if y'all want to attend the graduation, it'll be great. We will receive the first distribution, which is 50% of the fiscal year 26 fire protection funds on August the 15th. And that first distribution will be $232,787. And then our numbers for July, we had 249 total EMS, 53 interfacility transfers, cancel refusal DOA, we had 45. We had 11 Tatum calls, 23 airport transports, and then 15 fires. So our airports, a lot of the patients, like right now, we just had a transfer that went to Las Cruces. So when we take those real long distance transfers, Norley knows it cuts us down to take less of the, like Lubbock and those, because of limited manpower and limited trucks. So a lot of times they fly a lot of those patients. We'll take them to the airport. We pick them up in Orly, take them to the airport. So a lot of those have gone up, but we're still facilitating them, if you will, by picking them up and taking them to the airport. But I mean, interfacility transfers are right about the same, still 50, 53 a month, but our airports are seeming to go up. So, other than that, I have nothing at this time.
No question. So the new vans that we came up with, how are those working out?
So far, they're doing good. If we have, say, a large patient, or if we have a patient with a lot of drips and stuff, we still take the big van. But for the most part, we take the van ambulances everywhere, and they're doing really good.
So how's that, have you noticed, I'm just curious, not that I care about fuel mileage, but I'm just curious, so.
So they usually go from here to Lubbock and back. Smaller tanks, of course. I don't know the exact mileage per gallon, but, gas is cheaper than diesel.
Oh, yeah.
And the upkeep, the tires, everything is just so much cheaper. So,
Do you think it has been?
we haven't really had them quite long enough to see a full, worth of what it's costing us as far as maintenance and upkeep. But when you look at $300-400 for an oil change to a diesel and $100 for a gas engine,
So you think there's going to be a benefit? You
I think
just
so.
see it down the road?
Yes, sir. I believe so.
I was just curious.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Yes, Commissioner Bolt.
Wanted to ask you as far as with your airport trips and all that, are them more critical? What's the?
Not necessarily. A lot of them are like your psych patients that are going between Las Cruces and Odessa, or Las Cruces and El Paso. So a lot of times they'll send those. It's on a fixed wing. It's not a teleconductor. It's on the fixed wing, and we do a lot of those. Like right now, they're on an actual medical patient that's going to Las Cruces or to El Paso. We are taking in background.
So the majority of them are not highly critical?
Majority of those are not highly critical, but a lot of them may be, depending on the weather, it may be a critical patient that the chopper can't fly. So they'll call it a fixed wing and we'll pick them up, take them to the airport, put them on the fixed wing. So a lot of times we'll have to pick the flight crew up from the airport, take them to the hospital, then get the patient, and then go back to the airport. Whereas a lot of times, if they're not critical, we just pick the patient.
Thank you.
Okay. Anything further? All right. Well, thanks, Barry. Appreciate it. Commissioner Bolt.
I would again like to thank everybody for braving the weather, parking your vehicles out in the hail. So thank you all very much for coming. Last week I did mention Commissioner White, myself, and a few others went up to New Mexico Municipal League training. They had a lot of good information up there, so hopefully we can utilize some of that. I said I thought it was a really good class, bunch of classes. Again, the fair was here this past week. From my understanding, it was pretty much sold out every night of the concert. A lot of people were there. So thank you very much. Mother Nature has given us a precipitation, so again, we have to be thankful for that, be thankful for what we have. Just want to ask also that we shop local, buy local, eat local, take care of our local businesses. It's important that we do that. Thank you very much again for being here.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Trio.
Good.
All right. Commissioner White.
Okay.
All right. Commissioner Gandy.
I don't have anything at the
Oh,
moment.
okay. Okay. Ed, how are you this evening?
Fine, and yourself?
I'm
sir?
doing well, sir. Thank you.
Nice to see you.
Good to see you.
Mr. Mayor, and Commissioners, just a little update on the accounting. We're staying current, attempting to stay current with the accounts payable, recording receipts and revenues and payroll. I've been in constant contact with the auditors. trying to get them everything they need for the fiscal year 24 audit. As far as I know, they're not waiting on us for anything. When they do ask for information, we get it to them within the day or the next day. He mentioned to me that the next step will be trying to get us some audit findings. And we'll respond to them, and then we'll go from there. As far as the accounting, I was talking to the city manager earlier today, and maybe, I don't know if he didn't understand or misunderstood what I was trying to say, and he asked if I'd explain it to the commission, where I'm at with the accounting. So when I first started in July, I mentioned that the pool cash account had not been reconciled through December. It had been done through December. Okay, so the pool cash account is the main account that has most of the financial activity. And within that pooled account, money is transferred by the bank daily or every couple of days to invest in CDs. And so the money comes back and forth, and there's usually $3 million in the pool cash account. The problem that exists within the city, that has existed up to this point, is that errors have been made in the entries. For example, maybe someone entered in a transaction that occurred today, but they dated it last month, so there's date errors. And the accounting system, like most accounting systems, is very date sensitive. So if you put in that it happened on that day, that's when it expects to happen. Well, when I'm working on the accounting, well, the bank reconciliations, it's not that the bank reconciliation itself takes a long time to do. It's the accounting has to be done first. When I last spoke at the July 28th meeting, I mentioned that I was working in the month of January. And the reason, so that's the 28th of the month, I started on the 1st. And why it took that long, still working on it in January. The reason is because of the pressure on the audit, trying to get the audit done. So I've started to focus. I think we've got the fiscal year 24, most of everything he needs, and now I can focus on the accounting. The time-consuming part is the accounting itself. Imagine that you take the bank statement has maybe 300 transactions or something in there, and then in the accounting records there's additional transactions, and you have to verify. You say, okay, what happened here in the bank account happened in the books. What happened in the books, did it happen in the account, in the bank account? And so that's what takes time, just going in there one by one, making sure that all the transactions are recorded properly, or at least recorded, not necessarily properly, but at least recorded. And so I completed January, I completed February, and I'm working in March. So now the problem is that the state of New Mexico state statutes require that you submit by July 31st your fourth quarter report, and you also submit your budget, any changes that you're going to go forward with the budget. Obviously, we haven't done that because we're still working on the accounting for the month of, right now I'm working the month of March. When the consultant worked on, he submitted the third quarter DFA report for March, it was kind of like an estimate. It wasn't accurate. Because the accounting hadn't been done. For example, gross receipts had not been recorded for the month of January, February, March. So there was no way that the report could be accurate. At the time that he was submitting, I said, well, how can we do that? Because this was before I actually started employment. How can you do that? And he says, well, what you really want to make sure to get done right is your fourth quarter. The fourth quarter has to be done right. You have to know what's crucial is that you have to know your cash balances at June 30. You have to know, because those cash balances carry forward the next year. And they become locked in. You can't change them. Once, if you say we have $8 million in the general fund, you can't all of a sudden come back and say, oh, well, we really had 9 million, or we really had 7 million. You've got to know exactly what that number is. So you can't go forward until you know that, and you can't go forward with that number until you do the accounting. The bank reconciliation itself, the process, it's very, I mentioned to the city manager, on Friday it only took me 2 hours to reconcile the bank account. But it was not that. It's not the actual bank reconciliation procedure. It's getting ready for it, making sure all the accounting is done before you get to that. Because when you're doing the reconciliation, all you're saying is, did this check clear? Did that check clear? Did this deposit clear? Did that deposit clear? Is that's outstanding? Is this check still outstanding and stuff like that? It becomes very mechanical at that point. The important part is to be able to do the accounting. So the cities are kind of in a little bit of a bind because we're behind on getting this reporting, but there's nothing can be done except to get it done and just work on it as fast as we can.
If I may add to that, what's been happening in the accounting department, finance department is, as Mr. Fierro said, when he started here in July, he started with January, he's now in March. At the same time, Mr. Betancourt started July 1, our new fiscal year, keeping us current. So as he's keeping us current, Mr. Fierro's catching up to him, and we're going to close the gap. But I was shocked when he said, I didn't realize that an actual bank reconciliation would take him 2 hours. But it's the nuts and bolts that have to go in first. And Mr. Betancourt's been helping us with that. So
I reconciled, on Friday, I reconciled the payroll account and only took me 30 minutes. So every account's a little different because there's not that many transactions in the payroll account. Because a lot of the payroll is done electronic transfer, so it's just one big number. And once it goes through, you know it cleared, unless something comes back, maybe the account's closed or something like that. So we're just trying to work on it as fast as we can, but we want to try to be accurate. Then once we get the numbers locked down and we know what the beginning cash or the ending cash is, then we can start moving forward. And then later, if we need to make adjustments to, well, we didn't get this revenue in the right place or whatever, that can be done later. Yeah, so it's not a serious issue. Questions?
I have, go ahead, Commissioner Trio, no, go ahead.
But we are staying current with every daily operations and so forth.
absolutely, vendors are getting paid. Yep.
Accounts payable is being paid, payroll's being done. They're in the process. Payroll is going to be done Wednesday's payday. That's being taken care of. The payroll individual, Mr. Betancourt has had experience in payroll, and so I've assigned him to be kind of like the payroll clerk's supervisor, and they're working together. And I believe they told me this morning that he was actually going to be the one that was going to do the payroll. So that's really good, because what happens then is we have a backup with that. We don't depend on just one person to do the payroll. We got somebody else now that can run the payroll and do the payroll. As far as what he's been spending, what he's been spending a lot of his time on is recording all the transactions into the books, all the receipts. See, what happens, what has happened, kind of things have changed in our societies just generally. A lot of times, like when the state sends money, they don't send it. They don't send a check. They just put it in your account. And if you're like 6 months later and you're trying to say, well, what's this? $14,000. Well, I don't know. I don't remember. And so it didn't get recorded. It doesn't get booked. And so that causes a problem, because later you're trying to figure out. Now, with Mrs. Bolt, she's working with capital outlay. She's just a big asset to the organization, because she's better. When I see these big amounts of money coming in, I hand them to her and I say, I need to know what is this for? And she knows, working with the grants and stuff, where that money's supposed to go. Does it go in the general fund? Does it go in capital outlay fund? And that's a big help. So that's another part of it, is you just get all these transactions happening, and it just takes time. You just got to pull them out one by one and make sure that they're in the right spot.
No question. All right, I have one. Since and you'll have to excuse me over the next few months, because I've been waiting a long time to be able to ask certain questions. All right, let's go back to our ending balance as of June the 30th. Okay, just hypothetical. We have $100. Okay, or that's what we report. We can't go back and change that. We make and we actually have $120. So again, we can't change it, but we make another $100. How do we make that, in a very simplistic way, how do we make the adjustment when we get to the very end that we should have 220? I mean, we really have $220, but we only show now that we have 200 because we only gained 100 and we started with 100. So how do you make that adjustment?
Well, first of all, you try your best to know what your balance is, so that you don't have to worry about that problem.
Okay. I understand.
But sometimes errors happen, where
Sure.
we make mistakes. So there would be an adjustment made in the subsequent year to get you caught up to where you need to be.
Okay.
So it would be simple, just adding or making an adjustment.
Okay. So we wait till the end of the year.
No, you run it through operations in the current year.
Okay.
So you almost have to look at it on June 30, 25.
Mm-hmm.
Cash balances, boom, boom, all the different funds have this amount of money. Then as you move forward for fiscal year 26, then you have increases and decreases, increase and decrease, and then you know what your cash balance is all along. Now, if you find out, well, wait a minute, there was something else happened in June. Yeah, that's why it's going to be real important. What Ms. Miranda mentioned just now, why it's important that we reconcile almost immediately, right after June is reconciled, that we do July, because then we'll catch if any errors happen. Like, for example, like right now I'm working on March, and there was a payment or a receipt for $171, and it was reflected. When I was doing the reconciliation, I said, it's not in the books, but I see it in the bank. Okay, then So I give it to the staff and say, what happened with, where did this $171, where is it? It's in the bank, but I don't see it in the books. Okay, then they said, okay, well, it was library collection, let's just, or city fees or whatever. Okay, so then they recorded it, now we're good. Now I'm working in March, and I found out, oh, here's that $171. It's in March, recorded in March, but it really happened in February because it hit the bank in February. So I look at I pull up the transaction, and what happened is dated wrong. When they keyed it in, they did the following month instead of the current month. How does this happen? Because you're behind, you're trying to catch up, and you're in a hurry, and you make mistakes. If you stay current, and you're along the line, you're staying current, when you bring up a transaction, well, it's today's date, then you're not going to be not next month or previous month or whatever, because you don't have to think, okay, when did this happen? You know, you're in the current month, this happened today, we're going to record it today. And so you can avoid problems like that. The biggest issue has been with the accounting is, I say this very cautiously, there's just been lack of proper knowledge of the maintenance of the books at a level that someone knows what they're doing, that can understand, can see the whole picture. What happens is sometimes staff, they know their job, they just put the numbers in. But they don't see, well, how is this going to have effect on this? What's it going to help? How's it going to be in the financial statement? You have to be able to see it and understand it. So you have to know, if you're working down below in the trees, you often have to look at the horizon too. And without proper knowledge and proper supervision and lack of reconciliations and lack of trying to tie things together and making sure everything balances, you come up with chaos, and that's what's happened. And now we have to unravel it. And I know that the state needs their information. I understand that. But we can't estimate and guess what the number is. We have to know the number. And so
You don't want to blow the house and collect the clothes.
we can't call it close, not shoehorns on. You know, we're not. We got to hit the target. We got to know it.
Firo, following on the mayor's question, when do you think, can you pinpoint a month when we might submit our first budget adjustment report or bar?
I've been thinking about that. The process, the normal process is May 31st, you submit your interim budget. This is what we think we're going to budget. Okay. Then you finish your books in June, you finish the fiscal year, you reconcile everything, you do your fourth quarterly report, and then you're ready to look at your budget by July 31st. That's what you're ready to do. So this is somewhere around the middle of July. So July is a crucial month in the finance department. Okay, at that time, you should be able to say, oh, we didn't pick up something, or we need to make a change, or we need to do something. So let's make a bar. Because the state tells you you can't change your original budget, what you submitted. That's going to be it. Now, you want to make a change to it, you do a bar. But given our situation here, is I'm saying, what I'm thinking the best thing to do is get the numbers done, get the fourth quarter report, submit the budget. No bars. Then after that, all's done, everything settles down a little bit, then you can start looking and say, okay, what are we going to change? Because you can submit bars anytime. It's okay, you can submit them. But if you try to say, okay, we're going to hold everything back till we make a bar, well then we're going to have meetings and we're going to trying to come up with, well, what are we gonna do here, what are we gonna do there? And we don't want to delay, we want to submit it. So my recommendation is we submit it the way it is, the budget, as long as the budget works. And the reason I say that is because we gotta take beginning cash, revenues, expenditures, ending cash, and you gotta have positive cash numbers at the end. If it all works, here it is, now we can step back, look at it and say, okay, we didn't pick up this grant, or we got this new award, or we decided to expand or replace an air conditioning unit, or the finance department needs a new copier, or whatever the situation is. Then you can start making changes at that point. So.
One thing I want to make sure the commissioners are aware of, the old rule was if a municipality hadn't submitted their audit in time, they could be in a position to lose out on state funding. They have now changed that, and they look back 2 years instead of 1. And I'll note that the audit prior to the one that we're currently late on was submitted in time with the help of Mr. Fierro. So right now, as the state would look at it, as I understand, we're still in good shape, even though we have not yet submitted the last audit. So that's an accounting change that the DFA made just recently. So, and we will get this audit submitted very shortly.
Well, thank you, Mr. Fierro. We appreciate it. I know a lot of these questions, we probably, as we get better, can be handled, maybe not take all of these people's time. They have other items they would like to see come up. But anyway, we appreciate your bringing us up to date.
Well, and I know the public's here for different reasons, or they have their own concerns. But this is the only time that I can get to talk to the 5 of you without going behind closed doors, doing something illegal or something. I don't want to do that. I'd say, here it is, this is what we're doing, this is where we're going. We're trying to move in the right direction. And I'm looking forward to the point where we get it caught up and I can provide you monthly financial information to say, okay, where do we stand? That's what the board needs to make governing decisions. So.
We are looking forward to it too, I assure you. So, thank you. Any other questions before we move on? Mr. Trio.
No, I just want to say, cheering you on.
Oh.
Cheering you on.
All right. Before you get started, I just want to say to the next 3 spots, welcome back. We missed y'all last time. So, there are certain individuals that are really glad you're here too. So,
Glad to be back.
all right. Go ahead, City Manager.
Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, the GRT number for May 2025 was a record-breaking $217,061.78. So that's a little over 1.2 million. The previous record of 1.19 million set in February 2015 was probably an aberration. So this GRT number was almost $100,000 for the same period last year. And we are currently at $931,000 for our 12-month trailing average. So take the last 12 months of GRTs, it comes out to 931. And you can see right there, we came a long way from the low in October of 2020 during the bottom of COVID. We're almost $800,000 higher than that number. If you'll see from the next slide, construction was responsible for 26% of May's GRTs. Usually it's retail, and if you'll see that construction and retail accounted for almost half of the city's GRTs in May. So hopefully this trend continues. Next, our city auction brought in $38,000 net after expenses, and we got rid of a lot of junk. We would like to use the proceeds for Operation Cleanup, as we did last time. Lastly, we continue to offer our employees upward career paths with the city by offering advanced training. In the past month, Daniel McGee of the Wastewater Treatment Plant has obtained his Level 1 operator certification. Daniel Corral of the Street Department has obtained his CDL, and Ryan Herrera of the Water Department will be testing for his Level 3 certification very soon. We continue to invest in our people, our employees, with incentivized training opportunities to the benefit of our city. It also leads to better employee retention and having to use less outside contractors. I'll be happy to stand for any questions.
Questions?
Oh, I wanted to debate 2015. So when did they bring in when did we build the judicial complex? Is that about that time?
I think it was.
It took them 5 years to argue out whether who was gonna pay for what.
I think it was one of those, the opposite of a fallback, I think. And we're due to receive $43,000 for that retailer that was corrected next month. But I don't know, I think it came just before, and it wasn't like a trend, it was just a spike, and then, yeah, so I don't know if it was recorded improperly or, but.
That was right during the building spike we had, so.
Right or wrong, we moved that record away.
Oh, that's good. Always good news.
True.
Okay, and we disposed of assets according to the auditors, so.
Yes.
We got rid of a bunch of junk, but, yeah.
Or vintage fire engines, depending on how you want to look at it.
That's right. All right. Thank you, City Manager, appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
They brought out less than a golf cart, by the way.
Had to be towed off. Ms. Ball.
I have nothing to report this evening. Just was glad you and Trujillo were at the grand opening, the ribbon cutting for the Main Street. The event went off very well. We also hosted that CERCDO meeting last week on the same day, on Thursday morning, and it went very well. I've had a lot of people comment on that facility, which it is a great facility for the hospital. So.
Yes, awesome. Questions? I hear none. Thank you. Counselor.
Mayor Commissioners, I don't have anything new. I may have one comment or two on the agenda items this evening, and I'd be happy to stand for any questions if you have them.
Questions? Hearing none. All right, thank you, Council. Thank you. I'm just going to say thanks for everybody coming this evening, braving the storm. We had a good fair week. Lots of visiting people. We actually went on Saturday night in addition to another night, and they were parked completely down to the judicial complex and wrapped. They estimated 40,000, so that's a big influx for our community. I thought we handled it very well. Our new precipitation today, actually on the way here, I got to view a lot of the city, and there's lots of rivers. The mainstream seemed to be flowing very well, so that was good. It wasn't dry, but it was definitely not a lake. If you weren't at the grand reopening, I gave some nostalgia that growing up with the new Main Street, I can no longer go by and douse people here at the old Anthony's Dip. But coming down Avenue D this evening, there was a few trucks were able to achieve that. So we still have a lot of drainage, and at least the new system seems to be doing very well. But anyway, we welcome the rain because everybody's yard was like mine. Yes, it had been beautiful and green and growing like crazy. And then for 2 weeks, it got hot. But anyway, it should continue on, and we hopefully get to cooler days. This brings us to our next item, which is public comment. We invite you to come to the podium. If you have something to inform the commission, please come up, state your name. Take about 3 minutes or less and tell us what you want us to hear. And then if there's questions, the commissioners will reach out to you. Otherwise, we appreciate your comments. Well, we're going to see. I don't see anybody jumping up.
1, 2, 3, let's move.
Oh, excuse me. Ms. Pino, yes.
Hello, everyone. Mr. Mayor Roberts, thank you, and to all the board members, thank you for allowing me to speak today. Chief, thank you for allowing me to be here today as well, sir.
Yes, sir.
Ultimately, I'm here on behalf of my fellow sergeants and my police officers.
Name first. I'm sorry.
Yes,
I know you,
sorry,
but...
sir. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Jacob Pondo. I am a resident here of Lovington for the past 31 years. I'm an honored member of our community. I love this community, I believe this community, and I believe our mission. And I look forward to growing with our city, and I'm committed to my department. That's why I'm here today. Ultimately, the reason I'm here today is to speak for the behalf of my fellow sergeants and my police officers. We are hearing a common theme amongst our guys when it comes to the retention and when it comes to the retention, the recruitment, and ultimately solidifying their commitment to our department. There's a common theme that we're starting to hear. I figured I would show up on their behalf rather than telling Chief to come over here for us. I figured it'd be better if I showed up myself. I was hoping that I get the chance, if any of y'all are willing to, in the next meeting or whenever y'all see it may be appropriate to speak with me and some of our sergeants so we could speak about some of those issues that we're hearing pretty regularly amongst our patrol guys. I'm preparing to go to nights, and anybody that knows my work ethic knows that I'm a go-getter. I like to get out there. I like to do what I can to have some kind of impact on the community. But as I prepare for this night shift, I'm preparing to go into it with myself and one other officer. These are not ideal circumstances at all. And does that bother me? When I'm in it and I'm at work, not so much, but when I'm at home with my kids and my family, it absolutely does. So I was hoping that you guys could entertain the thought of speaking with me and some of the sergeants, maybe some of our chain of command as well, face to face, if y'all think that may be appropriate at some time. That's all I have.
All right, thanks, Chief. Any questions? Chief, I would say, let's see if we can set aside a time, and if we want to look, if all of the commissioners would like to, then we have to do a special meeting. But anyway, whatever, please inform us, and I mean, I'm happy to. I'm sure pretty much everybody up here would like to hear, because the enforcement of our community is vital. And you know, I hear a lot of comments throughout the county about some of the problems in the other municipalities, and honestly, every municipality has some problems, but fortunately, I don't hear any major problems with our current LPD, and that's good to know. So we need to address anything that is a problem within the department.
Thank you, Mayor.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you all.
Mayor, I would just add, speaking of the training last week, and Tim Johnson, who's the ex-chief of the state police, echoed this. If any commissioner ever wants to, and I know you're all very in tune with our police and fire departments, but if any commissioner or any citizen or any member of the press ever wants to really feel what it's like, you know, we'd be happy to do a ride along. You don't have to do the whole night shift, 12 hours. Just want to take 3 hours on a Friday night and really see what our men and women go through. And we're very lucky to have whom we have, so.
Well, Jacob, since you're going to nights, you pick one in the next few weeks, and let's do a ride along.
Thank you, Mayor. We'll put something together. We'll run it through our chain of command, and if you guys like it, maybe we can get something set up.
Awesome.
Thank you, guys.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Anyone else want to come forward? If not, you got about 1, 2, 3. Seeing no one jump, we're moving on. Thank you. Brings us to our non-action items. All right. City manager, is this in yours to discuss?
Well, Mr. Mayor's commissioners, I don't think this was spoken about 2 weeks ago, but a month ago, we kind of broached this topic. I'm sure Mr. Vashon Robinson wants to speak. I just wanted to update the commissioners that Crystal Ball and myself, and I think Mr. Robinson, received an email from Bobby Baker of NMDOT last week. And this has nothing to do with the Hometown Heroes program, but the email did say the banners that are currently up are causing damage to the newly installed decorative poles in the city of Lovington. Effective immediately, the NMDOT will no longer allow these banners to be placed on any streetlight poles in the city of Lovington. So I haven't spoken to Mr. Baker directly, but I'm not sure if he's referring to the banners currently up or any and all banners in the future. It is their highway, they own those poles, and we just maintain them. So I just wanted to bring the commission up to date in terms of that email from NMDOT. And I'm expecting Mr. Robinson would like to address the commission.
Robinson.
Hello, Leila Robinson.
Sean Robinson, good afternoon, good evening. We did receive the same email from Bobby, I think Bobby Baker, chief engineer. He stated basically that they did have some damages to them. He put in the email that he wanted the banners taken down effective immediately on Friday afternoon. But then I also wrote him an email stating that, does this include the silver light poles that we have in town? What he responded, this would be specifically only new decorative poles. I don't think the other poles will have an issue. So that was coming from the chief engineer of the Department of Transportation. So we did get that one. Did that answer the question?
I was not aware of that email, but
No, neither.
okay. I believe you, wasn't aware of it.
Well, I would like to,
Commissioner Bowe, absolutely, sir.
for all the years that the silver poles were utilized by Lee County Electric to put wreaths up on, they have banner holders up there and that for the wreaths. I myself don't see an issue with the silver poles. The silver poles have been used quite extensively for numerous years. So I just wanted to put that out there. I agree with the new poles because we want to put something up that's going to be permanent and last for quite some time. And if we have that on there, having the damage that's being done, you're going to have rusty poles and it's going to look like crap. And let's take care of the new stuff that we have. But I said the silver poles, and it's not my call at the end of the day. I just want to put it out there that them poles, garland up there. So I just wanted to put that out there. So
That is mainly our historic area where these decorative poles, that's my main concern. Because the banners that were placed up did, and this is just a couple of pictures, every one of them have sufficient damage. The county is going to repair the damage, but then we're looking at, we don't want to have, like I said, we have new stuff, we want to keep it.
right, I know I went out there and looked at them, and I seen the damage on them firsthand. So right, I just wanted to put that out as an alternative. I think that would be something that we could do.
Commissioner, I do have a PowerPoint, is that okay? It takes 5 minutes.
I'm gonna take just a second, because I want to stipulate that, let it not be misconstrued that these were not your banners. The banners that created the problem were not yours. I don't want anyone to believe that the banners that you are proposing to put up caused the damage. We're just basically taking it that damage has been inflicted with some style of attachment. So, all right, now go ahead.
Last week, I think or the last council meeting, I got an email. I don't know if you guys got it. I tried to forward it to you guys. It was referring to the banners, the ones they had up on Main Street. What I did was I took pictures of them. I took pictures of the scratches and the banners that were upside down and broken. And okay, so we'll go in order. We're going to propose for the Lee County Heroes banners. It's going to start in Lovington. I feel like this is the heart of Lee County. Lee County. This is where we should start. We should set an example for the whole Lee County. The purpose of it is to honor the past, present, and current serving veterans for Lovington and Lee County. On this banner, it's going to display the veteran's photo, name, the branch of service, sponsor, and also a QR code. That's going to be something new. I think we discussed it. It's going to be really awesome. They scan it, and then it brings them to a web page and tells the whole story about the veteran and their family. This will raise the community awareness and pride for the military services and sacrifices. And this will also gain a lot of community relations by allowing the community to fully fund the organization. That's the biggest part here, is that the community is giving back to the veteran community. It doesn't cost the city a dime. So one of the propositions I'm putting up, or options we have right now, is display timeline. Banners will be displayed annually from Memorial Day to Veterans Day. That'll also help a lot with the summertime winds that we're having, the high winds, because the fire service will see in the fall and winter, the winds kind of die down a little bit. Memorial Day will be the installation and unveiling of the ceremony. We have some stuff planned out, but that's when the banners could be put up and try to be put up on Memorial Day, all of them, and then they'll be taken down on Veterans Day. And then if the family wants the banner, we can give it to them if they want to store it, so then the banner doesn't have to be paid for again. And if they're in good shape, we can store it and then do it the next year or the year after. Like I stated, we were going to do 24 to 48. It's going to be both sides, and it's going to include the name, barcode. This is the one banner that we just got last week that we updated. He stated that the QR code should work. I'm going to ask him to put it on the left side a little bit bigger. But also, I wanted to, reach out to the community. Once we get approval, we'll put it out there and see if we can get some votes from the citizens, see if they want something else. See if they want to add stuff. But it says the city, it says, this is our hometown, we take pride. It says their military background. It also says the sponsor, which would be the family or company that paid for that banner. This is the new bracket system. This is the bracket system that should have been in place downtown that will be in place on the silver poles. This is a wind scale banner. What this does is it takes a lot of that wind, instead of having that pressure where it moves back and forth, which we saw the damage on the black poles, it puts it in the springs. So the banner will take it and it'll move with the banner. The banner will move itself at the springs instead of moving the whole bracket system. That's the one that we are going to be putting on even the silver poles, because that'll make the banners last longer and the poles. So I've called the city of Santa Fe. This is what they've been doing for 12 years. They haven't had an issue with that one. So this is the vendor that we spoke to. He's pole tested with banner hardware, with that new hardware they have with the new vinyl, and they have it up. They sent me pictures. It's been up there for 5 years. There's been no structural damage. They've had minimum cosmetic observed, which can be addressed, which was kind of the same. It wasn't as bad as that, but it was just a little ring that's around it. No poles were, and then when they contacted Kentucky about it, they've been doing it for 12 years, and they have not had to replace one pole or major damage since the installation has happened. They gave us directions, which we would give to our companies that are going to be helping out, and it gives them the proper installation guidelines on how to put these brackets on and where they need to be put, the size, the height, gives federal codes, state codes for DOT, and also they did provide a certificate of insurance for the banners. Those are the pictures of theirs that were up for 5 years. He said he had to go up there and take it down just to show us, but that's what, if it was done properly, that's the, I would say damage, I wouldn't say it's damage, but that's what it looked like 5 years after. They gave us a certificate of liability, so if we purchased through this company, one of the biggest concerns that I had, and I know the city has, is if something happened, I think I heard council say, if something happens to the banner, who's liable? Well, they stated that the banner and the bracket will be on them if something happens with the banner or bracket. The poles, obviously, they can't take liability with the poles, because if it's old or they break, then it's the poles. The first, we're going to try to do for the first year is 22 banners. There is a lot of statistics going around. 22 veterans kill themselves every year for suicide due to PTSD, depression, due to PTSD and depression. And I think that would be a really good symbolize to say that, here's these banners. We're going to do one for each one of you guys today. And, that brings awareness to the community of why we're doing this. And I think that's very powerful. We've had two options, and I know that the option one we have is down Main Street, and I've heard what you guys concerned and the public. So I was really leaning on option 2, which is North and South Main. There's a total of 42 poles available, and the first year we'll pick 22 out of them. Maybe the year after maybe next year, 2026, 2027, we'll do a little bit more. We'll get with the city, but as of right now, it's only be 22. Why are we doing North and Main? North and South Main. Like stated, it's just the most visible and highest traffic route for residents and visitors entering and leaving Lovington. This ensures the maximum exposure and appreciation for our veterans. Main Street is our city's front porch, and a place for showcase our pride and heritage. Banners create an immediate and visible tribute that residents and visitors see daily. I'm going to have some pictures up here from Rio Rancho and Santa Fe. Top two are from Santa Fe. Just recently, the police officer on the motor cop on the right is, I think, from 2 weeks ago. Down on the bottom, middle was Friday taken in Rio Rancho, and I think that one's an older one. Peter was about 2 years ago in Rio Rancho, or Santa Fe, I think. The cost in long-term plan, the first year is going to be about $6,373 for the banners, brackets, and hardware, plus shipping. The future years require only reprints and minor hardware. So once we get these banners up, the cost is going to go down dramatically because the first year is the brunt of the damage of all the hardware and brackets. After that, unless we have to replace them, which they're not going to, we just have to get new banners. This program is going to be 100% self-sustained through sponsorship, and it's no cost to the city. We have discussed it also with doing that. We probably put some money aside from the program to help with the poles. If there is any of those small scratches or anything like that, we can use the money to help repaint the poles. Like I said, these banners will be sponsored by family, friends, businesses, and local organizations. I know Teresa Grady talked to C&M, Chuck Johnson, which we are very grateful for. We're going to still try to figure out with them and other sponsors throughout the city to help put these put these banners up, and other companies to be part of this program. This is what I was asking for, the approval of 22 banners on North and South Main Street for the first year. This will show Lovington's commitment to honoring its veterans year-round, and this will be the first city in Lee County to launch this county-wide program. And do we have any questions for me?
I do.
Oh,
If I may start
yes,
out.
sir. Absolutely.
Mr. Robinson, I had a few questions for you. So the city would not be responsible for storage of the flags during the months that they're not up?
No, sir.
Okay. Who would be responsible for putting up and taking down the flags?
We are looking at different companies as we were speaking now. I think Teresa Grady said that there was a commitment from C&M, Chuck Johnson.
Okay. NMDOT approval. Would you get approval just before Memorial Day for the entire summer that would last until Labor Day, or how would that work since it's their highway?
DOT said that only approval I would need for this program would be for placing the banners up and taking them off, as in we're using road work, so we'd have to have trucks there. Bobby Baker stated that that's only approval what we need, and the banners would be fine.
Okay. And then my last question is just out of curiosity, and I've seen those flags in Rio Rancho as recently as last week in Santa Fe. In the other municipalities that have this program, who runs the programs in the other cities? Is it like a local group like yourselves, or how does it work? Is it the city?
There's a bunch of websites and different organizations. There's, in fact, hundreds of different organizations nationwide that do it. It can go anywhere from self-efficient veterans to organizations like the VFW, USOs, military. Cities will even do it. Knights of Columbus, organizations like that. But it's not strange for an individual, for a veteran to lead this project. It's happened before.
Thank you, sir.
Any other questions?
Hey, Sean, did you ask DOT, are you going to have to ask permission to have your flag on the inside or outside, or it's just going to be standard on the inside or standard on the outside? And also the height, is there a height requirement on these signs that you have to meet?
There is a height requirement that they have sent us that we have to give the directions to the companies that are installing. It basically has a required height with the bend of the pole and how far it can stand out with the brackets. They did say that the brackets in the contract they have with the liability, it says how far they can go out over the highway for federal and state guidelines. So when I did talk to DOT, basically the only thing he told me was, we're approved. He said the only thing to have is make sure I have a work permit for putting them up. And that's all. That was his only concern. He said he just didn't want traffic going in. So Is that your question, sir? Sorry.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's perfect. Thank you, sir. And I think also if this is approved, there's the only reason why I say a height requirement, because let's say he has dibs on 22 poles and then Lee County wants to put their flag up. Is it going to be above his or below his? You know, so we kind of like have to say if he has dibs for 22, what is his location? And that way specific, that way if somebody else comes in, I don't want them debating on who puts it where. It needs to be a standard, is what I'm saying. I don't want no argument. I'm trying to prevent an argument or a debate saying, well, we've got approved, and somebody else says, well, we got approved, and then all of a sudden you have signs going like this all the way downtown Lee County, and I think if we're going to do something like this, I think it needs to be a set, if approved, a set standards, and either on the inside or the outside, but everything is uniform, just like the military. If you're going to do a military thing, let's make it uniform.
And I remember something about no permit if they were on our side over the sidewalk, but some permit if they were over the road.
So it's all, they have to be permitted by DOT because they are on DOT's easement. Whether they hang, because the signs and poles, they're on the easement. There's not any, because it has to hang off of that pole. So it doesn't matter which side it hangs to.
Okay.
It still has to be permitted through DOT.
Okay. Any other questions?
And that would be a yearly permit they'd have to get every year.
Because
to
he's saying he
rehang up.
just needs a permit for work, not the sign itself.
But you actually have the sign permit from DOT too. There's sign and banner permits.
Okay.
So other than, does the staff have any other concerns, other than the new fancy poles we have downtown? Is there any concerns that the staff has about the silver ones or
Not with the
anything?
silver ones, the older poles in the, like from basically D south, from Van Buren north. Those light poles are all the older plain aluminum, not decorative poles on those. And like he mentioned, we've had decorations on those for years and you don't see much damage with those. So.
And then, because when we
My
put up
issue
the
was the
Christmas
decorative
lights,
poles.
so we'll be using those on the older Christmas lights, if we have Christmas
They're
lights.
coming down Veterans Day.
I'm just making sure that we don't have a
The
conflict.
conflict.
Yeah, because it says one way or the other, but
Yeah, because if you're gonna allow one banner, then somebody else comes in and wants another type of banner,
So-
and you've allowed it for one, you gotta allow it for another, so that's where you get the issue of how many banners are we gonna allow,
I had
or
one,
different things, yeah.
I had one additional question. It's not really a concern, but it's the hit by a bus theory, right? So, have a plan in place. I get hit by a bus, someone can step into my office and open my computer and run the city or whatever. If something happens, you guys move out of town, something, is the city going to inherit this program, or is the American Legion going to take it over? What's the plan in place for?
This is going to be run by a committee, so it would stay with that committee.
And it's a yearly basis, so if the committee dies, it dies, the project dies.
Do the brackets
That's
stay
pretty
up
much
on
what
the
it
off-season?
is.
Okay, the brackets stay.
Yeah, if they're leading the charge and something happens to that group and
Yeah,
then it's dissolved. And then somebody either could take it over and then they have to come and get approved through us and start the process over. Right now, we would approve this group to do so and move forward on it.
All right. I'm good. Okay, nothing but thank y'all. Appreciate it.
Thank you for your time, guys.
All right. Brings us to our next item.
Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, a week or two ago, I was contacted by Mr. Lionel Burns, who owns the Caprock Pipe location at the southeast intersection of Industrial and Avenue D. And he
Correction. I think that's Caprock tubulars.
Tubulars, sorry.
Caprock pipe used to be on the side, but I think it's Caprock tubulars.
My apologies.
If I'm correct.
And he wants to speak to the commission tonight about proposed annexation of that site into city limits. Okay. Mr. Burns?
Well, you've already introduced me, so. But let me explain how this kind of, I'm not sure if all of you are familiar with this piece of property or not. Most of you are?
Pretty
Okay.
familiar with it, yes.
Well, what this property is, I acquired it in 1978. 500 lots of the old Cone addition that was subdivided in the 1930s. And these were 25 foot wide and 137 foot long. Don't make a lot of sense, but that's what they are. There's 500 of them. I bought it off the Brownfield estate, except for 5 acres there on the corner where the office is, got that from the Boy Scouts of America. But over the years, these little lots in there, I've tried to pick them up at tax sales from individuals, trying to acquire all of them. And when I was building out there, I made sure I never did build anything on top of any of those lots that I never did get acquired. Now there's about 25 of them left out there. And they're scattered, these people are scattered from East Coast to West Coast. And you can call one of them up and tell them what you'll offer. Well, that's land in New Mexico, you know, it's worth a lot of money, 25 foot wide. You know, make them offer, oh, we can't take that. Well, if you figure about an acre, nothing around here sells like that per acre. So it's been a kind of a struggle, but over the years, we got most of it acquired. But anyway, back about 10 years ago, Evelyn Hoagland had approached me when this place was going downhill and it much running the ground. Why don't you come in here and buy it? And said, hey, we got all this, we got EDC money, we can help you. And I had no interest in it. As Tom has evolved, I was having all my pipe work and process Midland, and there was becoming some issues, and then last fall, I heard this plant thing come out of bankruptcy, and been bankruptcy for 10 years. And I really didn't want to do it by myself, and I had contacted these two gentlemen. They own JB Pipe in Oklahoma City, Colin Fajan and Jeff Hager. In fact, Jeff's got a few roots here. He had a cousin, Harold Hager, killed in Vietnam. Hager used to live there. But anyway, they agreed, they want to go in, we partner, and go refurbish it. And that's been a chore. The copper thieves have had a field day up there over the years. Bought lots of copper off Chuck here. So anyway, whenever Evelyn had contacted me back 10 years ago, talking about the EDC money and all that. So when I found out about this, I did contact Evelyn, and she said, well, really, we need to annex you. Would you be willing to be annexed? And I'd never been approached for that all the years I owned it. And I said, I never thought about it, but I don't know if there's a problem that I would have over it. And she said, well, I don't think anybody would oppose it. And we met with Cresco and Evelyn and Cullen now, and everybody seemed to be in favor of it. But I knew I need to get a presentation of it so you understand. I brought a map of the property if anybody wants to look at it, and it shows the lots that hadn't been acquired. Now, the people that had it, they allowed 2 lots to be sold right there on the highway that you see the washing machine business. Does anybody notice that? Look real pretty.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's kind of how this. Huh?
I wish to disagree.
I won't vote against this guy. But anyway, that's kind of the reason that we're here, and because it was approached, I was approached by Evelyn, thinking this would be good for everybody involved.
Question? I'm sorry, Lon.
I'm
assuming you were.
Yeah, I'm ready for questions.
Okay, questions.
So the question I would have is, so as you come into the city and the services you provide, are your services like
Point of sale.
point of sale, or would they be basically, you know, as you transport pipe in and then you have transport pipe out, they're going to pay taxes on the truck, the pipe coming in, but it'd be a different tax on the pipe going out? Or is it a wholesale, how does that?
No, it's not, this is Caprock Tubular Service, what I named it. The other one was Fountain Supply, I bought and sold pipe. I didn't offer service to anybody. I just did my own pipe. This is different. I got a pipe company, they got a pipe company. We got a lot of other pipe companies, oil companies, that we will service their pipe. So basically reconditioning it.
Right.
Bring it back to service where it's, it can go suitable and go back down hole.
Right, so, but my question is this, so the way I would see that is, they're purchasing your services in Lovington. If you brought it into the community,
Right.
it would be in Lovington. So you would charge city tax?
Yes.
Or would it be, since it's being shipped back out, would it go back to the?
You charge
Well, they're
city
paying
tax.
him to clean it up and get it.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
Yeah,
'cause
you
I'm
charge
talking
city
about-
tax, that's the whole purpose, what, from.
Annexation.
You know, that's why I want to annex it, so you.
Right. Well, you know-
David brought that up last meeting, he likes these taxes.
Hey, he's Democrat, so you. I'm joking, but no, I'm just, so I just want to make sure that I understood what was going on there as far as that goes, because the city only receives like, $1.25 out of $100 or something like that. So it is a benefit to the community, but I didn't think I couldn't see a reason to bring it into the community if it was just like a pass-through where you machined the pipe, it went back out, and, they purchased it, ran it down hole, and then they were charged in whatever state or whatever they had to serve. If it was kind of like I don't know how to describe
Well, for whatever it's worth, Evelyn explained to me, there's an incentive to do out-of-state business for the EDC money.
Okay.
So I'm assuming if that's the case, there's some way or another an incentive for y'all to bring in out-of-state money into Lovington.
Okay.
And that would probably be a big part of the business.
Okay.
I know in the selling it is, and I'm going to assume it's going to be the same for this.
Right. Well, yeah, I was trying to work that out in my head, and I couldn't see how that would work. I just figured it would be like if I bought a part and resold it, I figured as you did the repairs, you were reselling that also. So that's why I was just curious about it, so.
Right, it won't be, in fact, we went through this with EDC. This has got to be more of a, fall under the category of manufacturing. Basically, that's what you're doing. You're reconditioning it, you bring it, refurbish it, and bring it back to a product that is reusable in the oil field.
Right.
And that's what we'd be doing to their product.
And see, but what I was getting at is as you rethread, clean, whatever, bring your product back up to a deal, it's like a repair, but then the end user is the one that pays the taxes on it, not the person that brought their pipe in. So, let me see if I can phase this. So we'll say, XYZ Pipe Company brings pipe in and they have it reconditioned. And then they bring it back to their yard and then they sell that pipe to ABC Oil Company.
Normally, they don't bring it back take it back to their yard.
Okay.
They'll leave it here and we'll store it for them. But
Okay.
after a period of time, you give them so much storage free, after a while, they keep leaving it, then you start charging them a monthly storage fee.
Okay, that I could see, that would be something that would be collected because it's stationed here, but the pipe moving in and out of the yard, I just didn't see a benefit the way I was looking at it, so that's why I was questioning.
No, it's come here for a purpose,
Okay.
to be worked. And most of the time, it would end up being stored until they sell it.
Right.
Or use it, whatever the case may be.
Right. So-
Now, the one thing, I'm going to show you this map. You're going to see in here, there's streets, designated streets in there.
We know.
They've never been used except for the owners.
No, we know.
You know, so what would, I'm assuming, what I'm understanding would happen, y'all would vacate these and then deed them back to us. Is that correct?
We can vacate, so when we vacate property, it goes to the adjacent owner of each portion of the vacated property. And the individual lots are owned by somebody else, are pretty much in the middle, so they wouldn't get any bigger. But yeah, the vacated streets would pretty much go all to you.
Okay, those existing 25 lots or so that's in there.
Mhm.
Yeah, that we need to acquire. Is there any way y'all
Okay,
have a
let's-
means of being able to help us do that?
Let's ask council to help right now because,
Patrick's on.
Well,
yeah.
I think that what we need to take a look at is if they were actually, if there were easements granted or there was dedication to the county for that particular street. So it's the question is, does somebody own the street as opposed to just an easement? So that'd be the first place to start. And then we'll just have to figure out, do we vacate it when it's at the county level? Is that quicker to do since it's a county approved easement because it's in the county? Or do we get it into the city and have the city just go ahead and vacate it from there? So it may be easier with the county.
You want to keep this map?
Sure. Yeah, I know where it's at, but yeah, I know exactly the mess you're looking at. Yeah. But if there were situations where, like, if we have a street, we generally divide that in the middle, whether it's north, south, east, west, and it gets split up. So as far as the question about the other parcels that are in there, I don't know if there's anything that the city can do other than send notice out saying, hey, you know, we're looking at this being annexed into the city, but they may also require notice as far as if the county is going to go ahead and vacate that subdivision. Because it doesn't seem like anybody has taken any steps to move that subdivision forward. Now, when you take a look at a lot, it says 25 foot wide. Yeah, I guess people could buy 10 lots and have a 200.
There's not 10 lots together anymore.
But, you know,
They're just
in the 30s, it was a little bit different how people were thinking about it.
It's just a land promotion.
Yeah, exactly. There's a couple of
Somebody in New York, I called a guy in New York one time, I got a number up here at the courthouse, it had a lady's name. I called this guy, a really old guy, fairly tall, and I said, I need to speak to Mrs. So-and-so. Oh, she said, she'd been dead a long time, that's my mother, you know?
Yeah.
At the time, I was buying them for like $250, that equated about $7,500 an acre, and I think you could have bought downtown property for that then, and they don't understand that. Oh, we can't get that for it.
Well, I think
That's what you run up against, and nothing ever happens, it just sits there.
And there could be a way to look at it, not from either the county or the city standpoint, but maybe like a quiet title action. If you were paying taxes on the whole thing, and so there may be a private action that you could take that would deal with some of those issues. And if there's a difference in the chain of title as far as when those were divided or subdivided, they may have some landlocked issues, those kinds of things too. So those things would give you the ability to maybe go in on a private action and either do a quiet title on them or something to.
Was that going to be easier to do after or before annexation?
I would say it's probably going to be easier to do after.
That's what I would think.
Yeah, and so the thing to do, we need to look with the county and say, is it easier for the county to vacate this since it's a county subdivision? Probably. And
Vacate the streets?
I'm sorry?
Just the streets?
Well, what they would do, I'm guessing, and I've not looked at the subdivision that was created, but normally that subdivision language says, we're going to create all these lots, and we're going to put the streets in place for a certain type of use and have some easements for utilities, whatever else might be necessary. And so that's where we would start, is to take a look at it, but I'm pretty sure the county could vacate that. And so we just need to see, you know, how quick can they vacate it, and then how quick can we get it annexed in. And then I think that puts you in the driver's seat as far as dealing with some of the other smaller lots that are out there.
So is this something you would take to the county?
Well, what we need to do is either myself or Crystal would get with the county and say, okay, what's the process to get rid of this subdivision that's active? It was never developed, nobody ever proceeded forward with it. Is there a way to vacate that subdivision and go from there?
Well, over the years, I was never approached by any landowner out there in a controversial way, wanting access to their lot.
Yeah. Well, they probably bought it during a time when they thought they were going to get a piece of the Wild West, and they have that piece. They don't want to turn it loose, and I think that's what you're going to run into.
I guess what I'm asking, going forward, if we can be of any help, with you.
Yeah, I think getting it with the county is the first step, so that should be the easiest thing to do. So we'll see what Crystal has to say. But that'd be my recommendation how to do it, because the county should be able to vacate it quicker than the city can.
You take it before the county manager, or you go to the county commissioner?
Talk to the county planner.
Yeah,
Dr.
that's-
Portolano. I'll talk to John Portolano, he's the new county planner. I can set up a meeting with him and talk to him and discuss it with him and get with you, and we'll try to figure out how to go for that portion of it. And so-
Well, I guess I got one more question for everybody. Y'all look at this as an asset for the city?
Absolutely. I mean, basically, Mr. Gandy, or Commissioner Gandy's question is, there's no way that you're gonna be a wholesale,
We're not selling anything for the service.
right, you're gonna be, you cannot wholesale out a service because, they're gonna have to pay you for whatever you do, and then you're not able to set up a wholesale between that, because they're not gonna,
He just refurbishes, he doesn't
Well,
sell.
right,
I understand, but he, good Lord, what are the freaking words? He could do a non-taxable.
but he'd have to be a wholesaler to them, and I don't know that you can do it.
But the service that he's providing is reconditioning something.
Right.
And sending it back, because it would be double taxation, because they're taking the pipe, the end user.
I know.
And let's just say,
But he's gonna charge them for refurbishing it. That's
if it was AB Oil Company, it was their pipe, they brought it in, he had the services done, and they took it back, then yes, it would make it. But if he refurbished something to somebody who sells to AB Company, then they wouldn't want to tax it, because they'd be taxed again once they sold that product.
I understand.
So, I mean, it's a 50/50, I think, so just depending on who he's working for and different things like that. So, I mean, either way, if you, like the EDC, if you take the circle of, you have people in buying, we have more people that are working here in Lovington, and then they're buying stuff here in Lovington, and
Right.
so the ripple effect of it would be worthwhile either way.
The job creation.
Yeah.
But Lionel, the whole,
I don't know if you can even classify retail or wholesale. It's just a service.
Yeah, so it's just like somebody bringing their pickup to a mechanic shop.
Yeah.
They go in there,
Mechanic
get
shop
it
is not
fixed,
retail.
you get
You pay
taxed.
taxes.
That's a
There's
good
no-
analogy.
Get right there.
there's no way to wholesale you out. That's the thing.
I think he doesn't sell.
David's analogy of a mechanic shop is basically, you
Right,
can take the
exactly.
car in there to get it fixed, refurbished, however you want. But it's not a wholesale retail.
Lionel has my tax resale, so it's on file for pipe that I buy from him. I don't pay tax on pipe that I buy from him that I'm selling. However, if Lionel sends pipe to our yard, our company will tax Lionel for the service work that's done.
Yes. I
And
understand.
that's all we're doing. We're not selling any pipe out of this yard.
We are selling, our two companies.
Our
but
other
this
companies
business
are
here,
selling pipe out of this yard.
Cadrock Tubular Service is not
Right.
selling.
You're
pipe.
providing a service.
Service.
Right.
Yeah, we understand.
Okay.
I'm perfectly clear on it. So to answer your question, yes, it is, because the gross receipts from your service will be contributed to the city, because when we annex you in, you will be inside the city, and our boundaries. So you will be using city tax. So right now, it's 7% is what it is. So you will be taxing your clients at 7%. We get our, whatever it is.
1 1/4.
Something like that.
Call it 1 3/4.
Yeah, something like that. Okay, but anyway, yes, so to answer your question, your business is an asset to the city. So we're going to attempt to move in this direction. The easiest to vacate, and then at that point, we'll be, hopefully have a little more information on how to take care of the small lots that are.
Now, I know the question I asked there, something hit you blindsided until Patrick has some input on it and y'all have had time to think about it, then maybe you come up with some ideas.
And there's all kinds of ways, because we're gonna send, whoever does the vacation on that particular piece of property, has to send out to the property owners, and they have so long to respond, and I think you have to do it 2 or 3 times, or whatever it is. And all of them together can't create a problem if it's a majority type situation. So,
And he owns the majority of the property. That's what I told him. Even if they didn't want to annex in, he owns the majority of the property, the majority would win.
yeah, now,
Every time.
the way it was set up, and I don't know, I haven't read it, I know of the 2 or 3 we have, which are all out in that area. They're all different names, but if I owned a lot that was in the middle of all of that, in a true subdivision, I have to be granted access to it. Okay, I have no idea how that was written back then.
So we'll have to look at.
You'll have to look at all of that, because a person, if they owned it right underneath your old pipe threading, building or whatever, then they could claim, depending on how it was written, that you have to provide them access to that 25. But across the street, Gary Jameson has the same thing, where his house is and everything else. I mean, all of that area was spotted with this stuff, so.
I'll make sure I didn't put any buildings on one of them lots.
I understand, okay. Anyway, we're gonna help you move forward.
All right, thank you all very much.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, do you want to put this on as an action item for the next meeting, or we're going to wait a little bit?
We better get a little more.
Okay.
We need some knowledge on, let's get it, the conversation with the county first. Yeah, let's get this thing moving, and then if we run into a problem, when we get to the point that we know that we can proceed forward, then we'll put it on.
Chris, can you also see if there's any, on the annexation, if they're gonna require us to do anything on that? I'm not too sure.
Okay.
Since that is county, I don't know.
Well, no, it would just, so when you annex property, you're dealing with property owners, not the county.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's just like when we've annexed any other properties. You deal with the owners on annexation.
Okay, good. Okay, thank you.
That should be simple. All right, brings us to our next item. Mr. Miranda. I don't know what this one is, so I'm gonna go with it.
Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, we have spoken about the need to create a water conservation and waste prevention ordinance. I have listed the reasons. This is not to be confused with the emergency water ordinance, which we already have on the books. If anyone wants a hard copy, at this point it only works if I point from directly in front of it. So basically, the City Commission is the trustee for the city's water supply in accordance with the laws and regulations of the state of New Mexico. And this can be as brief or as detailed as the commission wants. Under statute, we are not entitled for certain funding from the state, from the DFA and the Water Trust Board, unless we have one of these ordinances on the books. They don't provide a boilerplate ordinance. I looked at Roswell's, Artesia's, Hobbs, and I looked at the 40-year water development plan from John Shoemaker. So this is our first crack at kind of what would Lovington's water conservation ordinance look like. So I'm seeking the input of the city commission, and basically I will detail some of the highlights of this first draft of the ordinance. So basically, we have to establish that no person shall cause or permit the water waste of city water. Then we define what is city water. Obviously, this is treated water and distributed water. This is not referring to industrial customers. One thing that all ordinances had, all cities had, that spray irrigation, including sprinkler or hose, every day of a certain period is prohibited between certain hours, and I'll define that. So some cities started in April and ended in November. Some cities started in May and ended in October. So we need to define the day we want this period to begin, and I took May 1st. And the reason I chose this, because I looked at the city's peak water usage over the last 2 years. So in this draft, it would begin May 1st and end on October 1st of each calendar year. Basically, what would happen in that time period is that prohibited use between the hours of 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. You could not water your lawn, wash your car, except on the hours outside of 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Watering may occur on Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday at odd-numbered residences, and Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at even-numbered residences. There will be no watering at all on Mondays. That way, citizens get 3 times a week, off hours, not between 9 a.m. and 6 p.m., where they can do their irrigation, watering, etc. Then it goes on to define what is the wasting of water, and some of that.
I'm sorry, City Manager, let's stop right on that point. Because this is the point that you and I talked about.
Right.
The problem is that if you pick odd and even for anybody on even, there's several you can, in intervals every third day or whatever. So if I'm setting my spring, let me get it out, and then if you've got that covered in here, I want to make sure everybody understands that.
Yes, sir.
All right. If I set mine to water on odd days, then on the month with 31, I'm going to get an extra day.
I hear you.
Okay.
And that's why we didn't do it that way. The only odd and evens are the odd numbered residences, house numbers, or the even numbered house numbers. Basically, the odd number house numbers, like 917 West Harrison, can water on any given Wednesday, Friday, or Sunday. And 918 West Harrison could water on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. So we're not taking, because I have that same sprinkler system.
But I don't know that I can do.
Can you bypass a Monday on it?
I don't know that
Yes.
you can do.
On mine.
Oh, right. On mine, I can't pick
The day of the week.
Wednesday, right. Okay, let's just say I'm odd. I can't pick Wednesday, Friday, Saturday.
Okay.
So that's the reason I'm a little confused.
Can you pick days of the month, or?
You know, the bad part is I set that up probably 12 years ago and I.
Upgrade.
Well, hey,
So my.
I don't, one of the ones that I have at one of my other houses, yes, I can do certain days of the week.
Okay.
And I know that you're just gonna have, everybody's gonna be like, oh, yeah, I'm gonna have to buy a new sprinkler system. I mean, a new, a timer, yes.
I don't have much experience with the in-ground professional sprinkler systems. I have two, I guess, True Value hardware. You get them at Higginbotham, they're about 40
Christmas
bucks.
tree timers.
And they're battery operated, and they basically let you set days of the week, not numbered days of the month, but Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, hours, watering times, etc. So you can, and
No, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I had a
so,
brainstorm there.
But we can address that. This is a preliminary.
I think it may be possible. I'll have more information. I'll go through all of my programming and see what I've got available.
Yes, sir.
So I did have a question at this point. So you're talking about it just being residents. What about commercial businesses?
Good
Is that
question.
addressed?
Because that is treated water.
Because a lot, they use
So-
treated water to
Okay,
walk around.
and that's
their
why we're
streets.
here, because that's a great point. And I will look at I have the other cities' ordinances here as well. This might be just defined for residential, and commercial and industrial are not subject to this. We can make other regulations for commercial customers, but again, NMED doesn't give you a list of requirements, your ordinance must hit all these points, so, but that's a great point, For the purposes of this ordinance, the wasting of city water includes permitting city water unnecessarily and excessively to flow onto any highway, street, gutter, or alley. So you can't just let your water run down the street. The washing of vehicles with city water by any use of free-flowing water that is not equipped with a positive shut-off nozzle. Fundraising car washes are permitted, but all the ordinances want you to have a shut-off nozzle on the end of your hose and not just the water flowing out. Using any lawn sprinkler or landscape irrigation system in such a way that city water is regularly permitted to flow, run off, or spray onto a public highway, street, gutter, or alley. And I think we saw that problem that was actually damaging the city street down on Carter.
Carter and Knight.
Yeah. So, and then another point which constitutes waste of city water, permitting any substantial plumbing leak to exist for more than 10 days after discovery of such. Additionally, this ordinance would call for restaurants and food service facilities would only provide drinking water to customers upon request. And then on our next page, we go to potential penalty assessments. And it's on an escalating basis, obviously, going up to $150 every month. Again, this came up before the commission several years ago. At that time, the commission thought it would probably not be a good time to propose this. I think in the last 2 years, with the help of Kevin and Robert and the water department, we've come a long way in how we bill, efficiencies, addressing leaks, so that, by proposing this, we're not making ourselves out to be hypocrites, and it's going to allow us to potentially receive funding from the state. And then the last thing I would, we'll go to the next page, please. No, sorry. Go back. So we could potentially enact this ordinance to go into effect January 1st of next year. The reason I say that is because, next slide. So because of the rain and because of better billing techniques, you can see that our water usage year over year is drastically lower this year. So it's not like we need to enact this in a hurry. We need to get it on the books sooner than later. We don't have to have it go into effect until next January, and it would kick in, let's say, next April 1st. In the meantime, we could continue to make improvements, but we're in a good spot right now. This is just a draft, but just wanted to put it on your radar. It's something the city has to do. Hobbs, Carlsbad, Roswell, Artesia, they all have it in some form or another. One thing I did not address in this is new home construction in terms of low-flow toilets and low-flow shower nozzles, but that's something some of them have, but not all of them. And so it's cobbled together from all
I'm
of
with
this.
the city that said not that because it rots your pipes.
Right.
Yeah.
I did see that.
No,
Not having enough water to push everything through.
The sulfuric
acid,
gas.
the
Yeah, I think that was Roswell
Mhm.
that
Roswell or
specifically
Artesia.
put that in there, that they would not
They
have.
had actual damage and they,
Yeah. So,
because they did a really strict shut everything down water thing,
Right.
and then they started having issues.
they had a lot of issues.
So do we have to have, first you said May, and then you're saying April. And so I was just, because most of us are in April or May are trying to get our yard up and strong enough for the summer heat.
Exactly.
So I didn't know if we could move that back to, say, June, or are they saying that we have to have it within a certain time frame?
They are not saying that at all. The reason I picked April is it tends to spike. That's the first month when it really spikes dramatically every year. May kind of starts it's still going up, but at a lower pace, and it kind of peaks in July. But it's up to the commission. We could start it May 1st, April 1st, June 1st, take it to September, October. That's the reason I provide this water usage chart.
I just figured June, July, August. That's during the hot part of the season typically. I mean, we've had some pretty hot Mays where it's just brutal, but you're trying to get your yard to come in, different things like that. If we get rain, it's going to go down anyway. If we don't get rain, it's going to go high. We need the money. So, you know, damn if we do, damn if we don't.
And you're right, we range from about 60 million gallons a month in the winter months. Sometimes it dips below to a maximum of about 120 million gallons in the hotter months. But as you can see in 2023, that drastic dip, that happened because at that month, we had a lot of water main breaks, and we asked citizens to voluntarily and the schools to cut back. That shows you the impact. And then take it to this year, and you can see the impact in terms of all the rains we got, really taking that water usage down. So I'd say the typical year would really be 2024. That shows you the water use peaking and dropping. And, you know, we basically use about 1 billion gallons a year as a city. But greater billing efficiencies, people are using less water, but we're actually making more revenues because we're doing things right. So we'd be happy to revisit this in a couple meetings, or be happy to take any input.
How long do you have to advertise it before we can?
I guess 10 days, right? The ordinance, it's just a typical ordinance. We've got to put it in the code, get a code number attached to it, and I've reached out to Shoemaker. There's no boxes that you have to check. I haven't seen any of them denied because they didn't have this or that in it.
No,
Do
the
we
state just
want-
wants to see the plan.
Right.
Yes, wants to
We've
see-
got to get a plan in place, no doubt.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do we want citywide input? That would be my next question.
No.
Well,
You asked a question, I answered it.
I know you did.
Because I guarantee you're gonna get this same range of,
Well, there's gonna be,
you know, he's gonna want more water, I'm gonna want less water, he's not gonna care because he's growing roots, you know? So, I mean, we might as well just make the decision, because no matter what we do, we're gonna take the heat for it either way.
Absolutely. Okay.
I'll continue to work on the drafts, get some input, and
I would say, as fast as possible, get some sort of a final draft.
yes, sir.
And let's look at it, and if we enact on it, then if we find a flaw, we will. The first one, we're gonna have some problem somewhere, then we'll just amend it and go on. That's right. Get something on the books so that.
We're good with the state.
That's exactly right. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Yes, sir.
I have a question, sir.
Okay, well, you have to come to the podium, I'm sorry.
Just your name.
My question is, I have a water well
Who are
In
you,
the
sir?
city.
in the
Yes.
city. My
He ain't
name is
the only
David
one.
Munoz,
He's
and
not the only one, right?
I live at 806 West Jackson. I have a water well.
Mhm.
I actually use the city water to water my lawn at this present time.
Okay.
And like you're saying, the water bill gets a little crazy every now and then. But if I have a water well and when I applied for my water well, it's strictly for irrigation. So would I be exempt from this plan that you got, which I think is a good idea, but I'm just asking? Since I have a water well.
Yeah, it says treated
It's
water.
not treated
It's
water,
not
so
treated.
you're under this ruling, you would be exempt.
Okay.
You could water any day of the week you wanted to with your water well.
I want to go back to your question because I want to make sure that I understood your question. Okay, one, you have a water well, or you would like to have a water well? Okay, you have one.
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, I'm going to join you, so do I. It's the reason I want to know what the ruling is, because, I know, that's what, I want to make sure that I heard the question correctly, so that what applies to you applies to me also, so. All right.
Keep your mouth shut.
Oh, okay.
I know several.
There's a lot of them.
Those
Okay.
houses were all built in 50, 57, 56,
There's a handful of them in
before water was applied, you know, so yeah. I mean, it would only apply to people that use their water from their regular meter, or the people who have the extra meter that is specifically only for watering their yard.
But even then, it's treated water.
It's treated water.
Yeah,
It's
that's like I
still
said, those would be the only
So
two
your
people.
line applies.
The special people, you know.
You get your water from the city, not a
Yeah.
hole in the ground.
Yeah, there you go. You're one of the fortunate people that had a hole in the ground.
Okay, so did we answer your question?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he's moving over tomorrow.
Licking his lips. All right. Oh, yes, sir.
Not so much on this topic, but
Oh, okay.
you done? Are we
Yes,
done?
sir.
Is there-
Unless there's any questions.
I have a what? Not
No,
this.
I had one thing I just wanted to bring up. Robert had something. Robert, do you want to come over here? And I should have brought this up during discussion, but I forgot about it, and I told Robert I'll just
Me
squeeze him in 1 minute. Just give him 3 minutes. I just want you to explain to us what you
We're just gonna
explained.
bring up the flooding on that Fifth. I think we had discussed it here last week or so on Fifth and J and Avenue C. Get rain, got those streets that are flooding over there.
Okay, yes.
We had, Chris and I kind of talked with Mr. Randall a little bit last week and see what, there's a problem there.
The mailbox on J. Poor people. Just-
And what are you having to vacuum it out, or what are you?
We're having to vacuum it out. We're spending 3 or 4 hours there vacuuming the water out after it rains. That's a courtesy to the people, not because they said we'd have to, but just to keep water from going up.
I'm just saying, we have an expenditure here that's ongoing, is there not? Just to see how we can address it.
No, we're doing it right across the street. But it's keeping it from going.
So it's not anti-donation.
What's that?
It's not anti-donation.
Right.
Yeah, I was just trying to figure out how.
No, but it's bad design, and we need to check on that and work on that. Because
Well,
like,
there's several areas in town. J is one of them. G, right, the next road over has the same dip. Avenue C,
Oh, I know.
right by the park, has
Yeah.
the same type of dip. And they're just dips in the road that, and actually, if you raise the road up so it doesn't flood the road, it's just
Don't
gonna
flood
flood the
the
houses
house.
next
Yeah.
to it.
Yes.
And that would be on
That's
us, and
right.
we can't do that.
I know.
And the one on J, we try to cut a ditch, but
Yeah.
all the utilities are so
So-
shallow
Shallow,
that you can't really cut a ditch where it would transfer over.
yep.
So, yeah.
Well, I lived in it on Avenue C growing up, it's the same thing. They have the ditch that goes along to Avenue D from Avenue C, but you're still going uphill. You're,
It doesn't
Oh,
go
yeah,
nowhere.
it's a low spot, this is where. it
yeah,
is.
so now, the other problem is we can't put it into the storm drain. I mean, we can't put it into the sewer, right? So in order to, right now, you're literally taking it up with a vacuum truck.
You don't want to do that.
Do I want to ask where it goes?
To the park.
Okay,
You
good.
park those right
Good.
there. You want to
Okay,
park.
good answer, so. I didn't want to.
Keep it there, no.
All right.
I think Mrs. Bolt is looking at funding for an engineering study for possibly a federal or state grant for a long-term solution. It's gonna be a lot of money,
Oh, it's a lot.
and I think we're
It's
looking
storm
for-
drain, it's the same thing we just went through?
It's for a storm drain and retention for the property we own out on Arkansas Junction. The storm drain would help alleviate some of the storm flooding in the Denko area and the South Main area and the railroad area. That's where, that area, we're looking at getting a grant to try to help alleviate some of that area there. Because like Denko subdivision, nobody can even develop there because of the water issues. So, you know, that's property that's just sat vacant for years and years because of that. I am gonna look at some elevations on the roads for these other 2 areas and see if there's anything we can do. And see, I know I've heard that the utilities are slow, you can't cut a ditch across to K from J, and it just won't flow. But we gotta look at something, because they are spending a lot of time trying to alleviate the flooding issues there.
It's just gonna, yeah, it's a complete redesign
Oh, yeah, well, and
on
then
the flow patterns.
you're looking at having to take that stormwater clear out of town.
Absolutely.
So that's a long ways to take that stormwater and put in storm drains. That's a big expense, it's a huge undertaking.
There's no easy fix.
Oh, never is, but that's the reason it's still there. The easy fixes were tried and failed, so, anyway, yes, sir, I think, well, it goes into the more stormwater that we can collect and reuse is nothing but a benefit, but we're not set up well to do that. Even with our new storm drain. I would love to, you know, to put it on the park, but, well, you can, but during the rainstorms. Right, yeah.
To do that.
Exactly, so, anyway, issues that we need to look at, and I agree, we just gotta figure out.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring it up, because he had concerns, and there was, public had some concerns.
Absolutely.
one more water question. Where are we at on installing the new lift station? I noticed they were fixing the old one. And
We have parts in from
So let's say,
JHC, so we've got certain parts delivered. Leslie, how much have we spent so far? $500,000?
So we just got the final invoice, we've spent $270,000. All the components are in, we're waiting to get some bids in.
So,
Sure we're at.
Did you have money to do it from the county, that million from the first year I was here, or the second year? When I went
absolutely.
before the
No, I
county?
don't think funding's going to be a problem. We've got the equipment, we've got the
$1 million was for
engineering study,
wastewater.
we just have to do an RFP and
Okay.
Get a contractor.
Because I mean, we're spending good money on old parts when we have brand new sitting right there.
Yep.
Okay. Just
All right.
asking.
Yes, ma'am.
Anything further?
No, sir. I'm
Okay.
down to one cookie, Mr. Mayor.
All right.
Move on.
One
Yeah,
cookie, let's do it.
Okay, yeah, down to one cookie. All right, brings us to our action items. Mr. Gaines.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion for Resolution 2025-063, approval of Lee County Hometown Heroes Project.
Second.
Okay.
You need to, option 1 or option 2.
Yeah. I need-
Can you remind us?
Option 2.
I think,
Which
yeah.
route?
Option 2 was the one that did not have any of the decorative poles. Okay.
Right.
Option 2.
I just had it up for you, but, here you go. You need it?
Hometown
right
Heroes
there.
Project, using option 2.
Using option 2, Main Street, Avenue D South on Main to Brown, Erlacher, and Jefferson to Deer Dock.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second for this resolution. Any discussion, any recommendation from the city manager at this point?
I think that as long as we don't damage the poles, what I saw in Rio Rancho and Santa Fe, it's I think a good program. I still think we should personally somehow try to tie it into our new Veterans Memorial. But as long as we're not damaging the,
And permits in place.
I'm sorry.
And all permits in place.
Yes, and clearly established roles and responsibilities.
Okay. Any further discussion? Shannon?
Commissioner Bolt,
Yes.
Commissioner Gandy,
Yes.
Commissioner Trujillo,
Yes.
Commissioner White,
Yes.
Mayor Roberts.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion for Resolution 2025-066, approval of Water Trust Board application.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. I knew you were here, I just lost you.
So it's a very lengthy title to this application, but the Water Trust Board needs a resolution to even go to the next step. I did put in the fiscal impact 200 to perhaps 100 to perhaps 400,000, but we already have 1.7 million in secured funds that we'll use with the match. I'm still trying to find funding for a wastewater project.
Sounds great. Any questions? Hearing none, thank you. Shannon?
Commissioner White,
Yes.
Mayor Roberts.
Yes.
Commissioner Trujillo.
Yes.
Commissioner Gandy,
Yes.
Commissioner Bolt.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion for Resolution 2025-067, approve disposition of real property for affordable housing.
Second.
Okay, motion and second for approval of this resolution. Mr. Moran?
This would also be Mrs. Bolt.
Oh, okay.
So Mayor Roberts had tasked me last time to look at some RFPs before we put some property up for affordable housing. This is also one of the first steps to gain DFA approval. So this resolution will be to send the paperwork up to DFA, get their approval that we can dispose it. Then I'll bring in a draft RFP for you guys to look at.
Okay. Ma'am, are we specifically talking about the tract of land on 17th Street?
Yes, this is the 17 acres, and this is basically, for any disposal of real property by a municipality, you have to get DFA approval. Then at that point, once they approve it, we go out for RFP to see if we get proposals for a developer to come in that would like to develop that property. So And you can decide if it was gonna be the 17-plus acres or part of it.
It's the 15 to 22.
Or look at the proposals when they come in and decide that.
I just didn't want the commission to think that we were going to seek permission to sell
Right.
any and all city property.
Was there okay, I didn't look at it, I apologize. Are there, this is just, we are looking at selling something, and we're getting there, we don't have anything specific, is a bunch of tracks or a few tracks, or even specifically one track. It's just, we're looking at doing this.
So this is a hoop that we have to jump through
Right.
before we go to an RFP. In the RFP, what I'll probably put in, and like you had tasked last time, make sure that we get an RFP that's just not us putting it together. We get some professional or expert advice. What we're gonna do is probably do a scope of work asking for a proposal based on some portion of it being specifically for affordable housing at some kind of income level. Other than that, I would probably leave it pretty open-ended and see what we get in return, but this will start the process.
So another thing I know, when we do sell this piece of property, we do need to have in the RFP that the retention must remain. Because if you sell that and they get rid of it, you've just lost that, and then we have drainage that goes nowhere but back onto the street.
It's nowhere now.
So,
What goes on?
we just need to make sure that language is in that.
On 17th?
Oh,
Don't go in that hole.
okay, all right.
Because it's flat.
That's the driest place on the
Okay,
street.
any further discussion? I'm sorry. All right, Shannon?
Mayor Roberts?
Yes.
Commissioner Trujillo?
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Yes.
Commissioner Bowe?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion for resolution 2025-068, approval of contract Great Western Dining to provide meals.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion second on this. Yes.
Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, several months ago, Commissioner White recommended said she thought highly of Great Western Dining, who provides meals to the College of the Southwest. Faye Ferguson of the Senior Citizen Center, myself, Commissioner White, have met with Great Western Dining 3 or 4 times. We've hammered out some details. Some key points are, originally, they required a 3-year contract. They have since changed that to it's being cancelable within a 30-day written notice. Other factors to be considered are, were they going to be transporting it to the Senior Citizen Center, or were we going to have to pick the meals up? This is for home delivery and in-house congregate dining. Home delivery is provided 5 days a week with extra meals on Fridays for the weekend, so effectively we are delivering 2,200 home meal deliveries 7 days a week. Right now, congregate dining is only 3 days, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. As Faye will detail to you, number one, she went down and she had some of the food, so she actually tried it with another staff member. Number two, through the cost savings, and I think it's $5.49 a meal?
$5.89.
$5.89. Through the cost savings, if we went with them on a trial basis, we would be able to provide congregate dining 5 days a week, which has been asked for. So
And that would lower the meal price overall too, once we do that.
So, and I'll let Faye kind of drill down into the numbers.
Mayor and Commissioners, it will add extra miles to our vehicles because we do have to go pick it up. They will not deliver it to us and they will not cook in our kitchen. It isn't cost effective for them, okay? So it will add extra miles to the 2 vehicles.
12,500 a year, miles per year per vehicle.
Yes, and maintenance and, you know,
Yes.
but that's all normal operating costs.
You're going to USW.
Yes, which is 15 miles,
they don't-
30 miles there and back, okay? I did figure that out. Okay,
It will add a few more dollars to the gas bill for the vehicles as well. Right now, we're paying $50,000, about 50,500 for a cook.
That's not just base salary,
That's
that's
fringe,
factoring in
everything.
medical,
Yes.
taxes, retirement, all that good stuff.
Okay, so that, and then I added our food supplies that we had, our food, our supplies, gas and stuff. That's $225,495.53 a year that we're spending right now. With the College of the Southwest, it's $183,768 a year. So that is a good savings of about 30 to 40,000, if you know what I'm saying, off of that.
And providing 2 more meals a
And
week.
providing 2 more
in-house.
meals a week.
And it frees up people where you can do more home delivery meals.
Yes, and we're up to 75 home deliveries right now. I mean, literally, since we've gotten those new trucks and they're out and about in the community, we've had more people calling in, asking about the meals, wanting to know how they qualify, or if they can qualify. We have people walking on and off the street wanting to know about the meals. So
Part of that is ending the grab and go. too.
ending the grab, well, but not as much as you would think. I mean, more have come in wanting the home delivered than coming into the congregate. So it's our trucks out there, and it's our ladies out there delivering to the population.
So to me, the negative is that we have to go pick it up. To me, the positive is it's cheaper. We can provide 5 days a week, and we can cancel anytime we want, as opposed to being locked into a 3-year contract. Yes, ma'am?
Her hardest position to fill is the cook, and the one that always quits first is the cook.
Correct. Yes.
But let's say they can't provide meals for 3 days. Do we have a contingency plan on how we're going to provide meals here at the facility? McDonald's or what?
Well, we could either contract with somebody, but we still have the kitchen. It's not going to go away because.
I know, but you don't have the supplies.
Yeah, or
They can go to Bob's to
But
pick
I
up
can go
the.
to Bob's, I can go to Walmart, I can go wherever I need to go to get what I need to feed the people.
I think that needs to be addressed and in writing then on a contingency plan if something happens
Okay.
in the event that we cannot feed them
Get a
for a
refund
period
for
more than a day or something.
So a good example of that, last year at the college, the gas line went out. And so Lucky Services donated their smoker and everything. They ended up having everything. It just kept working.
And that's what's happened in the past with us. I mean, we've had gas breaks and we've had the hospital do our homebound deliveries for us. I mean, we've worked it out. I mean, every time we've had something that.
Because they supply the senior
But I
center
think,
and
I think we
Hogs as
just
well.
need something to pay, I'm just saying, if we're
Yeah,
gonna do
I
a
know.
contract, we need something in writing, because if there's some sort of kickback, and I think Patrick would agree that if somebody gets upset because they didn't get their meal for 2 days and they file some, that we're following procedures in regards to why we couldn't do it. And if there's none there, then they got grounds for all kinds of stuff against us because we didn't do our, our portion.
Even during Goliath, when people couldn't get out.
Yeah.
Like, we were in 4-wheel drive vehicles going out and delivering.
And they
Yeah.
did an excellent job helping us out. And that's what we do. I mean, it's just like we had Good Life out at the center today doing bingo for the seniors. You know, so it's everybody give and take and helping out.
The only other point I'd mention is that the food would be prepared in accordance with the state nutritional guidelines.
Right.
Yes.
Approved menus.
And approved menus. And
So I
it
can have my
will
cookies?
No, no, sir. You're not a senior yet.
They took those cookies away a long time ago. It's all fruit now.
The only other issue I had was,
I'm gonna die.
I think Patrick can answer this on item 10, governing law. They say state of Texas. Is there an issue with that?
Well, yeah, I think what would happen is, if we took a look at the law itself, so the New Mexico court could interpret Texas law. And so there's 2 parts to that, is what venue, and that's something I visited with David about on some other contracts. Venue is where are you gonna litigate that? So you could have venue here in Lee County, but it's gonna interpret Texas law. And they're probably gonna want Texas law because that's where they're home base, they're more familiar with it. So It's certainly a point to take a look at, but I don't know if it's something that, Great Western would be willing to address. I don't know, as uncomplicated as this is, I don't know if it's a situation where that makes a real big difference. You're looking at different bases for each state's law, but I don't think it would be an issue, as long as we understand where's venue gonna be, so.
Okay.
And the travel to Hobbs, we would go once per day with 2 food trucks, okay? From the way I've talked to the lady Angie at Great Western Dining, and we have a window between 9 and 10:30, so we don't have to go over there for home delivered and pick up that food and then go back and pick up congregate, which is what was kind of,
Cost prohibitive.
well, and it was making my brain hurt.
Right.
Sorry, but that's just, but if we can make it work out within that window and still get our stuff, because we'll have to bring all the food back and divide it between the 2 trucks and make sure that because we'll still have to buy milk, because we give them milk. And so there's still some things that we'll still have to do and get it staged, ready to be either served or delivered.
And you could always, after you've done it a while and realize what size vehicle you need and everything, order a more cost-effective vehicle.
Yeah.
That will hold everything in one trip instead of 2.
Yeah.
And do you happen to, sorry, or do you happen to know off the top of your head how long they've done it for Hobbs seniors?
They've done it, I know, gosh, I don't know how long Angie was there, but they've been doing it for years. Like 10 or more,
Okay.
for sure.
Faye, let's say your attendance goes down because they don't like the meal. How would you
I've
address
had
that?
concerns both ways with that. Some people are okay with it if we're gonna go 5 days a week. And some people we don't want it to happen. I suggest we do it for 6 months.
Figure it out, okay.
And do it for 6 months and see how it goes. And that way, if we need to go back to what we were doing before, we can do that.
Right, we're not getting rid of our kitchen.
Yeah, and you can cancel this contract.
And he was really receptive in that meeting that if there was a certain meal that nobody at all liked, that they'd sub out and do something else on that meal.
Yeah, they are flexible.
The only thing with that is once you have an approved menu from the state, you have to submit a substitution, and since we're going to have to be cost effective, we have to have the same meals as Hobbs has, and we will be using their menu. So that would be a conversation we would have to have with them.
Because if they don't like it here, they probably don't like it there.
Yeah, so, but that's some of the logistics that have to take place.
Oh, absolutely.
Gotta work the bugs out.
Yep.
I wanted to ask, because I understand that with we're going to pick the food up, bring it here, we're going to be moving it around and everything. Are we going to be able to abide by all the rules as far as time-wise and temperature to meet local and state standards?
Yes, our trucks will hold it at the correct temperature. It's the newer trucks that
They have a dual zone. so
heat
they have
and cold.
Air conditioning and heating in the same truck.
Okay.
So those will hold it in the temperature. Once they get to us, they would either, if it was cold food, would go into the refrigerator or go into our warmer. Or if it's close enough to time, it would go straight on our steam table, ready to be served.
Okay.
And we have to check those temperatures before we can serve that food.
And that's why I wanted to make sure that was, because I know we're going to be moving stuff around.
Yes,
And
no,
I know they're going to be critical on that as far as your temperatures and everything.
oh yeah, and we have to check them.
Right, I've read up on it, so I understand.
Yeah.
Are we able to fit everything in them 2 trucks that we're going to need?
That's going to be trial and error at first. I'm hoping we should, in theory, have everything we need to do it right now. If not, we can get, they're called Cambro units. And the one I've looked at has an actual, you can plug it in. And when it's not plugged in, it has a 4+ hour holding temp. It can hold it for 4+ hours without being plugged in. Plugged in, it can hold it even longer. And the top half is heated, the bottom half is just a passive cool. you can put your cold pack or whatever in there with it to keep that cool. Those run about $1,800, and we would have to use like the transportation van to go get that food. So I don't want to go there yet. I want to see how these trucks can handle it, because I think we can get all the pans we need in there and all of our baskets as well. I've looked at it, that's my
Right,
My
and
plan.
how's that gonna work as far as, we're responsible for the pans, trays, whatever.
yes, we are.
We drop them off.
We're gonna rotate. We're gonna take, let's say, 4 trays, or 4 of the baskets that hold the hot meals, and leave them there. And every day we switch out those four baskets, okay? On the cold, it's a bigger compartment, and those are harder, I mean, they're heavy to lift in and out. But those things would just go in those big baskets, and we would load those in.
Okay, and I'm just asking because I wanna make sure that we have everything in order, that we've
Yes.
thought of things that nobody else thought about, that we're ahead
Yes,
of the game.
I've looked up, the units I'm talking about cost like $1,800 to $1,900 a piece, and I would have to have 2 to start with, and if that's not enough, then I would have to get 2 more. So that's gonna be, for the 2 would be about almost $5,000. So, but I have looked at, and we have to get the transportation van modified so that we can strap them down so that they're not moving, because they are on wheels. So that would be the next thing if we can't make it work with the 2 trucks. Okay,
Okay, but we'll just worry about the 2 trucks right now.
yes.
Okay.
But I think we can send the 2 trucks, get congregate in one, home delivered in the other, then come back and
Divided.
divide it, yes.
Okay.
Like I said, I mean, ideally, the seniors want to keep us cooking, or, cooking in-house. But when you look at all the numbers, it kind of
Makes sense.
makes sense.
Well, if it can be cost effective.
Yes.
And we put a good quality plate out there.
The only thing when we ate at the center the other day, it was a personal preference, I didn't like the chili. It was sweet. I like my chili, yeah. But you're feeding seniors, so, that's, the cornbread was, all the rest of it was good. It was just
Okay.
a personal preference. So I only tried the one meal, I haven't been to try other meals, so.
Okay.
But I figured we try it for 6 months. If it doesn't work, we can always go back.
Right. Okay.
I think that's the biggest worry too, is the citizens, they're worried about just it not being a home cooked meal and it not being tasteful.
Right.
And I think once you try it for a while, they'll see that it is a good food.
I'm optimistic. And this way, they don't think it's a death sentence, that this is the only way we're gonna do it. We give them say, okay, we're trying this, and let's see how it works.
Patrick, I have a question.
Yes.
Before we move to the voting, okay, this says approval of contract. Doesn't say approval of a contract, it doesn't say approval of the contract. Do we need to restate this?
Well, I guess the question I would have is, what's the status of the negotiations back and forth? Is there a written document that you guys say, here is what we all agree to? That's it?
That's it. Front and back.
That's it, that's the reason.
It's pretty open-ended.
Then I guess you can incorporate this into, that is the contract that these 2 have negotiated.
But this is the same contract as with the law of the state of Texas.
Yeah, well, it says the governing law. So I guess what we could say is, there's a case out there called Worldwide Volkswagen. And it says if you're doing something in a state, you recognize that you're subject to that state's jurisdiction. And so there's no restriction on venue. And so venue is where you file a lawsuit. And so we're perfectly fine to file here in Lee County, the judge in Lee County and the attorneys would have to look at it and say, okay, what does Texas law say about this issue or that issue? So,
All right,
I think we'd still be okay. And there's nothing that prohibits venue here. And they're doing something that subjects themselves to litigation, if necessary.
I'm guessing that the College of the Southwest has probably that same contract.
Well, I know, I'm just,
No, it's a good point.
yeah,
That appears to be it right there.
right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Any other questions from the
Short and
commission?
sweet. Okay. I guess not. All right. Any further discussion? All right. Shannon?
Commissioner Trujillo?
Yes.
Commissioner White?
White, yes.
Mayor Roberts?
Yes.
Commissioner Bolt?
Yes.
Commissioner Gandy?
Yes.
Yeah, as long as you report to us in 6 months and give us some status, I'll feel comfortable.
Even at 3, give us an update.
Okay. Yeah.
A month.
Okay.
Give us a venue, you know what they do.
Commissioner White?
I have 2 things. I'd like to request our trash can back that we've always had, and that it stay there.
Okay.
And then I'd like to make a motion to pay the bills.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to pay the bill.
Thank you, Faye.
Thanks, Dave.
Well, there's.
City manager, I think, I wonder if Robert can answer this one. What is Waste Management of New Mexico, that 18,568 sludge removal? I'll just try to
That's
say.
for the sludge that you take out of the plant.
Oh, okay, that's the one you're hauling somewhere else?
Yes, sir, we haul it to Eunice.
Units, oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, that's from wastewater treatment plant.
Okay, so we really don't have no, it's normal business, okay. That's the first time I saw that, so my bad.
We got a couple of questions. I guess this first one will go to Skip. For your Boundary Medical. July 10th to the 21st, we had $2,446. July 24th through April 7th, we had $21,000.
If you don't like that.
It depends on what kind of
Medicines.
medicines and stuff we're having to buy, yeah. Like what kind of calls we're having, because some medications are more expensive than others. And then medications only have a shelf life of so long, so we try to order smaller amounts. But then if we run out, we have to order new ones, and it's, if they get to their shelf life because they have expiration dates, then you have to replace.
Right. And I just noticed the big difference between it, so that's why I wanted to ask on that. The other ones, both on here, Ed, we have Higginbotham and we have Lovington Auto Supplies.
Yes, sir.
On Higginbotham, there's numerous ones that just say park supplies. There's no description. We went over this 2 meetings ago. And also Lovington Auto Supplies, it just says auto supplies, not stating what unit number, what it's for, anything like that. Some of them for park supplies were substantial. The one was over $1,000. I said, we don't have any kind of definition on that. I would think at least with the park, with like auto supplies, we'd have a unit number attached, seeing that all our vehicles have unit numbers.
Well, I think part of the problem is the way the POs are drawn, and they created the POs. On Higginbotham, I noticed there is a vast improvement. I would just work harder to get you more detail. 2 meetings ago, it was just one single line part.
Correct, and I think there was like 25 or 32 of them.
Right, so we'll make a better effort to get that.
Yeah, ultimately, it comes down to the department heads and holding them accountable, and I will address that again, because they've been told they need to not only document the department, but what the supply was, and try to abbreviate.
And I know on our PO tickets, we have unit number that we can put on there, and then we write down what GL code we're using or whatever it's going to. That way there, it makes it easier for accounting to take care of and know it's going correctly to wherever. And people looking at it can see it and understand where it's going.
Well, I think a lot of it, if they put the department first, and even if it said auto supplies, they could say like,
At least you got a hint.
antifreeze,
Right.
you know, because
Right.
you might put it in 10 different vehicles,
It only
but.
makes sense.
Yeah.
And it might be a good thing as far as, I'm not trying to micromanage, but maybe department heads, talk to people that are working underneath them and let them know that, I said, I'm not gonna micromanage, I'm just putting that idea out there.
It's a good suggestion, and I'll remind everybody that it was your idea to put unit numbers on all city vehicles, and it's been a great success. So
Oh, that's
it's a
what we-
positive suggestion.
Right, and that's what we figured, to make it easier by putting unit numbers on, so.
So, I had a question, sorry. So, is this, would you prefer it just for all supplies or just the big purchases that departments make? For example, I mean, I just ordered desk supplies, right? But there's not enough description space to enter every
For
kind
the
of,
department?
Paper clips.
like, you know, paper
Yeah.
clips, staples, you know,
Ink, scissors.
stuff like that. Is-
Well, and I'm trying to make it good that it's for us up here,
Yeah, yes,
but
sir.
I'm trying to make it good that for that gentleman over there,
Yes, sir.
because he has to enter everything, and he needs to know where to enter it.
Yes, sir.
And we want to make his life easier so he can get us to where
And
we need to be sooner.
for you guys see the brief description, right? But then there's the PO section that has like a comment section almost where you can put a detailed description for Ed.
But that doesn't come out on
Right,
this. You
right.
guys never see that.
Right, right.
Would it be possible to print out the expense report with that extra field in there? more
That's what
detail?
I've never tried, I don't know.
Right, for your benefit, for my benefit, for everybody.
It's just, sometimes we just simply don't have enough space in the description.
Because you're only allowed so
Right.
many
Because you're only
characters.
allowed like 14 characters.
Yeah.
But for sure, the department name, LFD, LPD, that takes up 3 characters.
I mean,
Right.
Even through
At least if we know what department it's going to.
Yep.
If I see fire, then I can ask Skip. If I see police, then I can ask
And
Joe.
we've also done something different, that we've got one person who's gonna do the wastewater, water, parks, and cemeteries POs. I've got with Christie and them, and one person's gonna do for every department. So he's gonna be responsible for the coding of the POs, what we're getting, and getting just one person.
Train them well.
And
That's what
we're
we
trying to
have.
do. Just one person's gonna do it all instead of, being all over the place. Just one person's gonna be in charge of that.
Right.
We started this past Monday, when hopefully he'll be able to do them all for everybody.
no, I just started making POs. I try to make my POs like I said, but there's certain things that you kind of just,
And trust me, I'm not trying to make it harder for everybody, I'm
And
trying
that's
to
what
make
we
it
do,
that it's
that wastewater,
easier
we
for
got
everybody.
wastewater, you know what I'm saying, water, or cemetery, parks, or whatever.
Yes, sir.
Like I said, it started this past Monday, we've got one person who's gonna do them all for everybody. So you write PO, they go to him, and he keeps track of everything.
We are always trying to improve.
No, and I'm just trying to offer positive criticism.
And I do think the new PO system people are trying to get, because it changed.
It
it's a little
changed.
different,
It's-
And people are still trying to get used to
Yes,
it as
sir.
well.
The software house changed.
Yes.
Yeah.
It took me a little bit to,
It took me a
I'm
little
still
bit.
trying to.
I know.
Do you feel for your job, are you getting enough detail?
I believe so. Well, unfortunately, right now, I'm looking at stuff that's like a couple months ago. or
I
something.
understand, yes, sir.
So that'd be a question more for Michael, because he's working with current stuff. But he hasn't indicated to me that there's a problem.
And I'd just like to add one last thing to the commission. Ed and Michael have been here on weekends, they've been working 11, 12-hour days. I want the commission to know that they're really working hard to get us caught up and, and going forward. So I appreciate all the work. They've really tackled this challenge head on. So thank you.
We'll get there.
Yes, we will.
Yeah, culture change, man, culture change. Change the
You
culture.
said culture club, I'm like,
Oh,
oh, that's
no,
old.
no, no. Hey, we need a culture club.
All right.
70s.
Are there any, Commissioner Bo? Are you good? Okay. Any further discussion? Shannon?
Commissioner Gandy,
Yes.
Commissioner Bowe,
Yes.
Mayor Roberts,
Yes.
Commissioner White,
Yes.
Commissioner Trujillo.
Yes.
With that, the items of the agenda are exhausted. We are adjourned.
Yeah.